Today we're going to talk a little bit about the delusional competitor. Now, what is a delusional competitor? Alright, let me explain. So, there are different levels of competition in the physique sports, which are figure, bodybuilding, fitness, bikini, etc., etc. And it used to be to where you would go to a local show, like let's say the Mr. like Kensington or whatever, and you won that show. Then you would move up to the next level, which was the state level. So you'd win the Mr. Wyoming. And when you won that, you would move up to the junior level. It would be like the junior nationals or junior USAs. And then when you won that, you'd go to the national levels. Now, listen to the word I'm saying. When you won that, win, okay? That means you beat everyone else and were ready to move up to the next level. Nowadays, with the physique division and the bikini division, there are a lot of people that normally wouldn't compete in one of the physique sports starting to compete. It's like a fad. It's a fashion. Everybody wants to do a show. I'm going to do a show. I'm going to compete. And I'm not hearing these people go, well, I'm going to start out and see how I do. No. I'm hearing people say, well, I'm going to do nationals. Oh, I'm going to turn pro. Everybody's going to be a pro. I'm turning pro. I'm a national competitor. So I'm not calling any individual person out. I'm not going to say any names. But I know a girl who said, well, I'm getting ready for nationals. This was this last year. I said, I didn't know that you qualified. And she said, oh, no, I didn't. I'm going to go qualify at this show. And after I qualify, then I'll cruise on in there. What? So you've never competed before and you're already focused on nationals. You are trying to run before you walk. And what happens is you have 900 plus competitors at the nationals. Half of them don't belong there. And it clogs up the whole system of the day, the way the things run. Because you have all these people that don't belong there. They're not national level. They haven't even won the Mr. Timbuktu or the Miss Timbuktu. You know, or they had two people in their class, them and another person, and they were way out of shape, and they got second place. There was only two people there. You automatically qualify. You don't automatically now decide, I'm going to go to nationals. You are not ready. And, you know, part of it is due to they see sometimes people can do that. You know, you have Kevin Levrone, did only a couple shows and turned pro. You have Jessica Jesse, the bikini IFBB bikini pro, who literally started training for that and progressed so fast within 10 or 12 weeks. She had done shows and already turned pro. So some people see these people do it and say, wow, that's how it works. No, they are not the norm. They are genetic elite that can do that and get there. You have people that have been trying to get to the national level or to the pro level for 20 years, been killing themselves, who have way better physiques than you do, and they still don't make it. But because you slipped in under a rule that's like a loophole, you go in there, you stand on stage and call yourself a national competitor, or you're going to be heading to the pros, or what. And it boggles my mind because it's so disrespectful to those that actually just love the sport and have been doing it nonstop pretty much their whole lives to get to that level. Or they, let me tell you this other story. I had a guy that I used to train, and we were at the Arnold one year, and he looks at me and says, should I tell Kevin Levrone? I said, yeah, go ahead, tell Kevin. I knew what he was going to say. And he says, Kevin, I'm going to one day be Mr. Olympia. Now, most bodybuilders' skeletons are bigger than this guy. He was about $140 soaking wet. So Kevin looks at me, he looks at my girlfriend Carrie and says, is he serious? So I shook my head. I said, yeah, he's serious. And he looks at him, he says, have you competed before? So the kid says, yeah. He said, how did you do? He said, I got last place. So Kevin says, why don't you win a show first? And then, we'll talk about progressing to the next level. Not the Mr. Olympia. Not I'm going to be Mr. It's nice to have dreams, but to be delusional is a whole other thing. So then the kid says, well, I think that one day I can do it. So Kevin says, okay. Now, mind you, Kevin is one of the best of all time, genetic elite, and he never won the Sandow. So Kevin says to him, can you bench press 400 pounds? So the kid says, no. He says, how much can you bench press? He says, about 200 on a good day. So Kevin says, okay, go to the gym and bench press 400 pounds first. When you bench press 400 pounds, come back and we'll talk about getting you ready for the Mr. Olympia. And then Kevin goes on to state, because there's never been a Mr. Olympia in history that couldn't bench press 400 pounds. Now, I'm sure the Larry Scott days, whatever, they weren't benching 400. Maybe they were, who knows. But, at least from Arnold up, those guys were benching 400 plus. So he's right. So, I don't know if it crushed this kid's dreams or whatever, and I'm not here to crush anyone's dreams about whether they're going to turn pro or be a top national level competitor, but be realistic. Think about it. If you get there and you're in a local show and you place 15th at the local show, you probably shouldn't be talking about nationals. Or if you've never competed before, you probably shouldn't be talking about turning pro until you've stood on a stage next to people and compared yourself to them to see where you stand. Don't be delusional.